Welcome to the lecture on protective coatings. So what is protective coatings? Facial materials are used in the finishing coats of plastering or cover the or over the plastered surfaces to meet one or more of specific requirements such as decorative appearance, high durability, fireproofing, heat insulation, sound insulation, early completion, high strength, etc. These are called as protective coatings. Facial materials are used in the finishing coats of plastering or over the plastered surfaces to meet one or more of specific requirements, maybe in terms of decorative purpose, to improve the elegance, to beautify the structure, to increase the durability of the structure, to make it fireproof, to make it heat proof, to make it soundproof, for early completion as well as high strength. Whatever coatings are given, those comes under protective coatings. Plastering, coloring, painting, varnishing, all these things comes under protective coatings. As name says, it protects the structure elements of surface, and that is called as protective coating. So what are the various types of protective coatings which are used in buildings? Plastering, painting, mortar, painting and varnishing, whitewashing, distempering, oil paints, wall cladding, wallpapering, and glazing work. This comes under building finishes. At this level, we shall discuss regarding introduction to plastering, basics of plastering only. So what is plastering? Plastering is the process of covering rough walls and uneven surfaces in the construction of houses and other structures with a plaster material called as plaster. So plastering is nothing but it is a process by which the walls are covered with the coating. Uneven surfaces are covered with the coating. Bad workmanship is covered with the help of coating, and it is nothing but it is a plaster, and the process is called as plastering. What are the objectives of plastering? Very first is to provide an even, smooth, regular, clean and durable finished surface. To provide a even, clean and durable finished surface to improve the appearance. If you see the two houses, one is plaster and one is unplastered, so definitely the plaster surface will attract you because it gives good appearance. To preserve and protect the surfaces from atmospheric influences by acting as a protective coatings. The objective of plastering is to preserve and protect the surfaces from atmospheric influences, sun, wind and rain. Atmospheric influences are to protect from sun, protect from the wind, to protect from the rain. Next is to conceal the defective workmanship. This is very important. The most important objective is to conceal the defective workmanship. If workmanship is not good, if the work is not carried out in proper line level, in that case, the plaster conceals it. To cover up the use of inferior quality material, if good bricks are not used, good quality material is not used, then it gets concealed or covered with the help of plastering. This is one of the objective. To provide a satisfactory base or ground for decorating the surface such as whitewashing, color washing, distempering. So it provides a base for color washing and whitewashing. Plastering provides. If no plastering there, it is difficult to color the house directly on the bricks. Right? So these are the objectives of plastering. So what are the objectives? To provide a smooth surface, to improve the appearance, to preserve and protect the wall from atmospheric effects, to conceal the defective workmanship, to cover the inferior quality material, and to provide satisfactory base for various types of coloring, whitewashing and distempering. So this is about objects of plastering. Now coming to requirements of good plaster. What are the requirements? It should provide a smooth, non-absorbent and washable surface. It should not shrink while drying and setting, otherwise it will crack and give an unsightly appearance. It should adhere firmly to the surface and resist the effect of weather agencies such as sun, wind and rain. It should offer good insulation against sound and high resistance against fire. It should provide a surface with required decorative effect and durability. These are the requirements of plastering. Very first thing is that it should not shrink so that there will be no cracks. It should be smooth. It should adhere firmly to the surface and should protect the surface from sun, wind and rain. It should offer good insulation against sound, resistance against fire. It should provide the surface with required decorative effect and the durability. So these are the requirements of good plaster. Now technical terms in good plastering or simply plastering. Background. The surface to which first coat of plastering is applied is called as background. Background means the new surface. The freshly constructed surface, it is a background. The surface to which first coat of plastering is applied is called as background. Crazing, the irregular development of hair like cracks on a plaster surface term as crazing. This is one type of defect, crazing. Crazing means development of the cracks. So this type of cracks you'll find due to different reasons. First is lack of adhesion and second is overwatering. Dado, the facial treatment provided to plaster walls at their lower level, usually in bathrooms, is called as dado. In the flooring itself, we have discussed it. This is what is dado, what is the function of dado. Dots, this is important. These are small projections of plaster, usually in the form of squares, laid on the background for fixing of screeds. So prior to starting the plastering on the background or newly constructed surface, dots are prepared. Dots are nothing but these are the blocks of 20 by 20 centimeter dots are made. The distance between dots is kept 2 meters and then plastering is done so that it will be carried out in line and level. Dubbing out, the filling of hollow spaces of the background before applying the plaster is called as dubbing out. So when plastering is done, right, sometimes the joints are not properly filled up, holes may be there. So all these hollow spaces, these are properly filled up with the help of material, mortar or plaster. It is called as dubbing out. Finishing coat, the final layer of the surface finish is called as finishing coat. In plastering, 2 or 3 such coats are usually applied. Sometimes it is also called as skimming coat. Finishing coat is the final coat. Because plastering is carried out normally in 2 coats or 3 coats, the final coat is called as finishing coat. Normally in finishing coat, the thickness is less. Gauging, the mixing of various constituents of plaster is called as gauging. So plastering is nothing but plaster. The mixing of various constituents of plaster is called as gauging. In case of cement plaster, what are the constituent materials? Cement will be there, sand will be there, and water will be there. So this is mixing of all these elements, ingredients is called as gauging. Graining, this is the reflection or appearance of the pattern on the surface of plaster due to joints. Graining is what? This is the reflection or appearance of the pattern on the surface of plaster due to joints. It is called as graining. Hacking, the process of making the background rough to act as key for plaster is called as hacking. The process of making the background rough to act as key for plaster is called as hacking. Keys, these are corrugations on the surface of undercoat to provide mechanical bond with the surface. So normally when first coat is given, then it is scratched with the help of wire. It is a keys to provide a joint. Lattice, this is the thin layer of cement which forms a screen over the freshly laid concrete when subjected to excessive troweling. So what is lattice? This is the thin layer of cement which forms a screen over the freshly laid concrete when subjected to excessive troweling. When concreting is done and excessive troweling, you can say ramming is done, little bit ramming is done, compaction is done. In that case, there will be layer of cement which forms a screen and which is called as lattice. Undercoats, the layer provided of the layer providing base for the application of remaining coats is called as undercoat. When first coat is given, it will be undercoat for second coat. When third coat is given, second will be undercoat. The layer providing base for the application of remaining coats is called as undercoat. Normally, first coat is treated as an undercoat. Floating. The process of providing a finishing coat with a float is called as floating. Floats are used. These are the instruments. These are the instruments by mason or the plasterer to give the finishing. Skirting. The special treatment provided to plaster wall at their lower level, usually in drawing and living rooms, is called as skirting. Normal in case of skirting, the depth is equals to half of the size of the tiles. This already we have discussed while discussing the flooring unit. Now coming to defects in plastering. What are the defects? Different types of defects occur in plastering work such as blistering, cracks, erosions, flaking, peeling, popping, softness and uneven surfaces. These defects in plastering used to be repaired as soon as they are observed. So very first is blistering on plastered surface. Blistering of the plastered surface occurs when small patches swells out beyond the plane of the plastered surface. Blistering is seen in case of plastered surface inside the building. So what is blistering? Blistering of the plaster surface occurs when small patches swell out. So what happens in the plastering, whatever surface is there, some of the small patches swells out beyond the plane of the plaster surface, and which is called as blistering. Cracking in plastering. Cracks are formed on the plaster surface. These cracks can be hairline cracks which are difficult to notice, or it can be wide cracks which are easily seen. The development of fine cracks is known as crazing, or we have discussed. Cracks on the plaster surface can be due to thermal movement, discontinuity of surface, structural repairs in the building, faulty workmanship, excessive shrinkage, lack of curing, and all those things. So cracks are nothing but formation of hair cracks on surface, sometimes big cracks. So it is called as. So in the sketch, blistering is seen clearly, at the same time cracks are seen, crazing is also seen. Hope it is clear. Now next is efflorescence on plaster surface. So efflorescence is nothing but it is a white patches. So here in the sketch you can see this surface is completely plastered, and you will find this type of plaster. It is called efflorescence. Efflorescence is formed on plasters when soluble salts are present in plaster making materials as well as building materials such as bricks, sand, cement, etc. Even water used in the construction work may contain soluble salts. When a newly constructed wall dries out, those soluble salts are brought to the surface and they appear in the form of whitish crystalline substance. Such growth is referred to as efflorescence and seriously affects the adhesion of paint with the wall surface. Efflorescence gives a very bad appearance and can be removed to some extent by dry brushing and washing the surface repeatedly. So that is the most important means is to wet it again and again. So while leaching, the soluble materials will come out, leached out, and then the efflorescence will get removed, or it can be removed with the help of wire brush. So as such, before plastering, when it is well watered, it get removed. Flaking. The formation of a very small loose mass on the plaster surface is known as flaking, and it is mainly due to bond failure between successive coats of plaster. सो फ्लेक्स जे पोपडे येतात बघा, असे पोपडे आपल्याला प्लास्टरमध्ये दिसतात आणि कलरमध्ये पण दिसतात. सो इज अ फ्लेकिंग. द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ व्हेरी स्मॉल लूज मास ऑन द प्लास्टर इज नोन ॲज फ्लेकिंग and it is mainly due to bond failure between successive coats of plaster. So this is regarding flaking. Then peeling. The plaster from some portion of the surface comes off and a patch is formed. Such a formation is termed as peeling, and it is mainly due to bond failure between successive coats of plaster. Sometimes what happens when plastering is done, the final coats they come out and falls in the form of patches. So it is nothing but peeling out. It is called as a peeling. Next is popping. Sometimes the plaster mix contains particles which expand on being set. A conical hole in plaster surface is formed in front of the particle. This conical hole is called as pop, and the effect is called as popping. So sometimes various types of beans are there in the sand, right? When plastering is done, and afterwards they try to mature there, grow there, and due to this, what will happen? The hole will be made in the plaster surface, and it is called as popping. Hole is called as blower pop. Uneven plaster surface. Uneven surface defect become prominent only due to poor workmanship of the plastering work. Normally, this occurs in case of village houses, uneven plaster surface. Otherwise, always plastering is done in level line and level. Softness of the plaster. The excessive dampness at certain points on the plaster surface makes that portion soft. The main reason for such softness are undue thinness of the finishing coat, presence of deliquescent salt, excessive suction of the undercoats, etc. Softness. Sometimes this softness occurs due to improper ingredients only. As such, whatever is mentioned here, it happens rare. It happens rare. Rust stains on plaster surface. Rust stains are sometimes seen on the plaster surface, especially when plaster is applied on metal lath. When plaster is applied on the metal laths, metal strips, or any metal element, in that case, if it comes into contact with water, there will be corrosion and there will be rust stains on the surface. So it is seen in the sketch. So with this topic is completed. Thank you.